Did I finally find the perfect or almost perfect acoustic guitar pickup? Now, before we decide, I want to make it clear this is not a sponsored video. A company did send me this pickup to try, and I said fine, but I'm going to be blatantly honest with my viewers and subscribers because I know the difference. I've spent plenty of money on portable external pickups and permanently installed internal pickups over the years. I've demoed quite a few of them on this channel because, as usual, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. So this Martin Dreadnought is my personal holy grail acoustic guitar. I really love everything about it, but I also have a problem with it. I love the design, the wood, the sound, the feel, but I don't dare touch it to modify it. I will not install a permanent pickup to amplify or record it. So this is a Martin HD-40MK. It's a Mark Knopfler signature model from 2002, and it's based on an HD-28, but it has an Italian alpine spruce top. This is the same wood from the same forest that Antonio Stradivari used to build those legendary Stradivarius violins. So this is a collectible, and the value is rising ridiculously fast, so I want to keep it in pristine condition. I bought it about 3 years ago. I actually made this video about it and how that happened, and I'm just not gonna drill or cut into this guitar. But that's also my dilemma, because the whole point of a guitar like this is for the world to hear it, right? And typically, to amplify a guitar like this, I'd end up compromising either the tone or the guitar itself. But maybe I don't have to. Because this package just arrived from Ukraine of all places, and I'm hoping it will kill the compromises. So I've been an entrepreneur since the late 80s, so I appreciate fellow risk takers and small businesses that make obsessive tools under difficult circumstances. So this small Ukrainian company called NV Tone is innovating and growing despite the war happening in their country. The co-owner emailed me to ask if I'd like to try their acoustic guitar pickup called the Swan. Now, before saying yes, I went online to check it out. You know, I looked and listened on their website. I found some cool YouTube videos. I really liked what I heard. Now, the kicker was discovering that they make an external XT version of the Swan, and it mounts temporarily in the sound hole, so no modifications or surgery, and the pickup and top plate are lined with soft felt, so they leave no trace when you take them off. So I thought this might solve my Knopfler problem and let me amplify and record this guitar without modifications. So the Swan isn't a piezo pickup. NV Tone describes it as a condenser microphone pickup system. So like most condenser mics, it needs phantom power. So good news, no batteries. Bad news, you might need a phantom power supply or a preamp with phantom power. Now the omnidirectional mic is tiny, so you might expect that it wouldn't capture a full frequency range, but it does, 20 to 20,000 hertz. They say it captures the actual acoustic voice of the instrument. Bold claim, and you and I will be the judge of that. Because generally, I am not a fan of pickups on acoustic guitars. There's almost always a little too much attack or metallic edge, and just kind of a lack of woody warmth. So the package from NV Tone included the Swan pickup, plus an extra pickup faceplate custom engraved with my name. Now that's normally a $25 add-on. It looks great, and it tells me that NV is smart enough to serve performers' egos along with our ears. So the XT has a 5-meter cable attached. That's 16.4 feet for us non-metric types, and it's certainly plenty for my needs. Now, because this guitar has never had a permanent pickup installed, and never will, I'm not going to compare the Swan to other more invasive pickup systems. I'm going to compare it to one of the most respected studio mics ever made, the AKG C414-B ULS. Now, this mic model has recorded countless professional acoustic guitar tracks over the decades, and it's really known for capturing the natural sound of an acoustic guitar and the overtones, you know, the air that really make an acoustic special. So in this video, the Swan isn't competing with other pickups. It's being held to a higher standard. It's competing with reality, or at least the most flattering version of reality as captured by an AKG 414. All right, let's hear the difference. Alright, so what are you hearing? I'd love to know your impressions. Please leave a comment. So let's start with the 414. This is our carefully placed studio condenser mic. I mean, physics are physics, and the 414 has a much larger diaphragm. So I'm not surprised to hear some extra thickness in the low mids and a little less aggressive high end. One reason I love tracking acoustic through a 414 is because I know it won't need tweaking to sound excellent and natural after the fact. But damn, this Swan XT, I just like it. It sounds so good. It doesn't squash the tone the way a lot of pickups do. I can hear the guitar's resonance. You know, I hear the air moving, and even cooler, I can hear my touch. This is really inspiring to play through. Now, without thinking, I stood like a statue while testing the mic and the pickup, but afterward I realized I didn't need to. Another benefit of the Swan is tonal consistency. You know, because it lives in a fixed position on the guitar, there's no mic stand. You know, so there's no sweet spot anxiety. There's no fear that if I move a few inches, I'm gonna ruin my tone. So now I know if I really get into a performance and start moving around, it's like fine. I mean, better than fine, that's great. All right, then there's the price. A new or used 414 will set you back like $1,250, $1,300. An NV-Tone Swan is currently $249. plus $25 if you want your name engraved. So it's almost 80% less expensive. So, I mean, a great value and a total wow right out of the box and straight into the sound hole, which only takes a minute or two. Okay, one more feature to explore. NV-Tone calls it a natural tone filter system. Sounds high-tech, but they're just simple felt discs in 3 thicknesses. And you tuck one inside the foam windscreen and then slide it over the tiny mic. Now, the clever innovation here is that someone was smart enough to check out a craft store instead of adding fancy electronics or a digital EQ. This is a simple, creative way to tame the high end and suppress feedback. Because while testing, I turned my speakers way up to see how loud I could get before generating feedback. It was definitely loud. I also found that adding the felt filters made a significant difference in feedback rejection. But I heard less difference in tone than I expected. I mean, see what you think. Here are 3 audio samples of thin felt, medium felt, thick felt. pretty subtle differences to my ear. You know, slightly softer highs, a little less edge. I mean, if you're a gigging player, you're going to need to experiment based on your stage volume and monitoring setup. But you should also know that the internal version of the Swan can be attached to the back of the guitar inside it. So it works even with a rubber feedback suppressor in your sound hole. You know, I think one reason I'm loving this pickup is because I've spent years thinking of preservation and amplification as opposing forces. Like I can either protect and preserve an instrument or make it practical and playable, right? Performable. So I have a 64 Gibson J-50 that needed major surgery to install a pickup. I had to replace the bridge and add a bone saddle and nut. Luckily, those changes actually improved the tone. So I also did surgery on my 1889 Martin 028. This wasn't even playable when I inherited it. It had top cracks, back cracks, it had old friction pegs for tuners. And it was actually Martin's own historian, Mike Longworth. He kind of gave me permission to mess with it. He wrote me and said, you know, it's sometimes difficult to determine whether an old CF Martin guitar is of more value historically than it is instrumentally. He said I could keep it all original and treat it as a museum piece, or I could repair and modify it as needed to actually play it. And that's what I decided, and I'm so glad I did. Haven't been willing to modify my HD-40, and now I don't have to. This NV-Tone Swan lets me amplify this without betraying it. That's probably the highest compliment I can give, right? I get to hear this remarkable guitar nice and loud, but still sounding exactly like itself. So this little guy is an important guitar discovery for me, and I hope for you too. I mean, if you decide to try a Swan, I think you'll be impressed. And I really encourage you to buy directly from our Ukrainian friends. Just use the order link in the description, because this is a win-win-win, right? I'll get a small commission to support the channel. You'll get the best available price, and NV-Tone will earn a little more because we've cut out the middleman. And they ship customer orders from a US warehouse, so you'll get it quick. All right, don't miss hundreds more videos at guitardiscoveries.com. More gear and tips. My new course to learn the shortcuts of how to strum, sing, and sound great. I've also got deep dives on classic songs and favorite bands, Beatles, Stones, Doors, Zeppelin, etc. Great singer-songwriters like James Taylor, Cat Stevens, Paul Simon, Jim Croce, John Denver. It goes on. Or you can watch this.